Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time for most NBA fans. There isn't anyone that has reached his level of greatness in the eyes of most people. MJ was an unstoppable force when he was in the league. His playoff average is someone no one has been able to replicate. His scoring averages in regular season games were also incredible. Jordan was undoubtedly the best of the best. Becoming as great as MJ took a lot of things. He was as far from being one-dimensional as any player has been. His offensive repertoire included shots from mid-range as well as incredible dunks, especially early in his career. On defense, Jordan could lock just about anyone down, a huge part of what makes him the consensus greatest player of all time. Jordan became who he was thanks to his obsessive need to improve, be the best, and win. He was motivated like few have ever been in the history of the game and used any number of slights to motivate himself, real or imagined. And the mental aspect of it is perhaps the most important. Although Jordan had other ideas about what made him the best, many have spoken about the various things already discussed as the reason for MJ's brilliance. However, the man himself named an aspect of it that people often underrate. He was coachable. The NBA and basketball are unique in the aspect that one star can become the fulcrum of a championship-winning team. This means that individual players are put on a pedestal much greater than in other team sports. So to be the type of player that listens to coaching and makes the most of the advice on offer while being the biggest star ever is a huge mark in his favor. In a recent All the Smoke podcast interview, Jordan's college teammate Kenny Smith spoke about this MJ's attitude.
I knew he would be great. I never thought he'd be the greatest. Because when I first saw him, and then when I saw him, when he left and he came back, I saw that the energy that he put into his game. Like, he never stopped working, man. Like, his stuff is not an accident. Like, it's not like, oh, he was gifted. No. He was the most fundamentally sound player that ever played the game. If you watch the videos, his left hand is in the correct passing lane. His footwork is impeccable. Offensively, his jab step is the always ball move, feet stay still. Like, all of those things were all the time. And then he was the best athlete. Most guys who were that athletic didn't rely on
package,
that.
Right.
It's just the fundamentals of jab step. And that's, the stuff that Dean Smith learned. But and then Mike gets a lot of credit for like his quotes, but it's just Dean Smith's quotes.
He's stealing them,
I'm gonna keep it real. It's stolen. It's all plagiarism.
He says all plagiarism.
It's 100%. It's just, he just adds the expletives. But it's everything that Coach Smith said to us, that's what Mike said. Every interview, you can pull it. It's every interview. It's plagiarism to the finest.
That's not to say MJ's skills weren't a reason for his greatness, though. As his USA Olympic team coach, the great Bobby Knight went off on the young Michael Jordan's drive and demeanor.
The kid is just an absolutely great kid. If I were going to pick the 3 or 4 best athletes I've ever seen play basketball, he'd be one of them. I think he's the best athlete I've ever seen play basketball, bar none. If I were going to pick people with the best ability I'd ever seen play the game, he'd be one of them. If I were going to pick the best competitors that I'd ever seen play, he'd be one of them. So in the categories competitiveness, ability, skill, and then athletic ability, he's the best athlete, he's one of the best competitors, he's one of the most skilled players. And that, to me, makes him the best basketball player that I've ever seen play.
In a 2021 interview, Jordan's college assistant coach at the time, Roy Williams, talked on what made MJ unique, his desire and killer approach to the game of basketball.
He had a desire that was different from everybody else. He told me he wanted to be the best player ever at North Carolina. And I said, well, you've got to work harder than you did in high school. And he said, I worked as hard as everybody else. I said, excuse me. I thought you told me you wanted to be the best. You have no chance. No chance. And 2 days later, he came back and said, I want to talk to you. And said, I'm going to show you nobody will ever outwork me. And nobody ever has to this day. There's guys on the street corner that can run and jump. There's guys playing basketball that can shoot. There's guys doing so many things. And there are great players. But nobody's great as Michael Jordan was. That expression, the GOAT, greatest of all time, he's the GOAT. And I've watched a lot of basketball, 71 years. Nobody's done what Michael Jordan did. His desire, his passion, his focus, his work ethic, his competitiveness. Oh my gosh, it's off the charts.
Everything needs to come together for a player to achieve a similar status to MJ's talent level. But to be able to absorb the wisdom you need to improve is a large factor in it. There are many players in the modern game that could learn from this mindset. Tell us in the comments, who is your greatest of all time NBA player? And if you enjoy this video, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. For more basketball content, subscribe to our other channels, Free Dawkins and Vintage Dawkins, and follow us on social media.